This week's parsha is talking about machlokes, fighting with people. Not good to fight. Right? So we see by Korach, it's very interesting. We see that most punishments in the Torah, the punishments are based in Shamata, are based and can only punish a kid from 13 years and older. And the Torah only punishes somebody from 20 years and up. That's B'dei Shemayim. Only once the guy's 20 years old, as a Torah punishment, is considered responsible for himself. But when it came to Korach and his buddies, even the Tinukim, even the little kids went down into the hole. They all died. Why is that? What's so special? Well, why even kill little babies? So he wants to say it's similar to the case, Rav Chaim Shmuel Levitch wants to say it's similar to a Sor of Amor where we preempt, we see that this kid is going to go off the derech. Because if the kid grows up in a house where there's a lot of fighting going on, the father's a Baal Machlokes, he goes to the shul and he fights with people, he's always fighting with people, making trouble. So the kid is Mistamag also going to be one of those types. He gets it from his father. So that's why even the children were killed. The Satan cannot come in a place of shalom. This is very interesting. There could be a lot of other stuff going on, but if there's shalom, the Satan cannot come. There's peace between people, and he learns this out. Even we saw by David and Melech, even though they're all tzaddikim, but since there was some machlokas between them in a certain milchama, that people died, even though they were tzaddikim. Where Masha Enchen, where it was the case of Achav, he also had an army where the people all got along and nobody died. They were ashamed. So you see that the Satan can't come in if there really is peace between the people. And he says that when does the Satan come between a man and his wife? Specifically on Erev Shabbos. On Erev Shabbos, a lot of trouble comes. Why? Because the Satan is anticipating. Shabbos is not a time for machlokas. Shabbos is a time of peace. And he brings down here, 1 second. This is nice. He brings a Zohar that says, Lo tiviru eish, but talk much when you shouldn't have fire in your house of Shabbos, the actual love of not having fire in the house of Shabbos, you can't light fires. The Zohar says, Einu mesuga melachlokas. Shabbos is not a time of trouble. Shabbos is during Shabbos itself, you're protected from machlokas. So that's why the Satan comes dafka specifically Erev Shabbos to come in and make trouble. Now, this is great. This is the famous thing. This week's parsha is talking about Korach. It says, Kol machlokas shehi l'shem shemayim, sofa liskayim. Any fight that is l'shem shemayim, for the sake of heaven, that's going to be Mekayim. And any fight that's not for the sake of heaven, that's not going to be Mekayim. Who do we know is the fight l'shem shemayim? That's Hillel v'Shammai. And the fight was Korach and Adasab. That was not l'shem shemayim. This is beautiful. Listen to this. So the Rambam says, what does it mean, machlokas l'shem shemayim? What machlokas l'shem shemayim? If it's a machlokas, what are you fighting about? Either you're fighting or you're not fighting. If you're fighting, you're not l'shem. What's machlokas l'shem shemayim? So he says like this. Ki mi sheyachalek al kavana l'sos devarav. If someone is coming to fight the individual, then that is called not l'shem shemayim. But if he's fighting l'das et emes, if he's coming to fight because he really wants to understand the truth, and he says, listen, doesn't make any sense what you're saying. That's called a machlokas l'shem shemayim. But he's saying, listen, I'm not interested in what you have to say. What do you get out of here, That's a machlokas lo l'shem shemayim. So where do we see here by Korach? So he brought down a pasuk here by Korach. It says by Korach, Kol davar me'elev afayis Moshe leKorach. Moshe was trying to calm down Korach. Ve'ein atam motzi yeshiv davar. And Korach was not interested in what Moshe had to say. I'm not interested in what you have to say. That already is a machlokas lo l'shem shemayim. If you're l'shem shemayim, you want to hear what the guy has to say. And if you're not interested in what the guy is saying, Baklau, that means it's not l'shem shemayim. And he brings a raya. He brings here. That's exactly the opposite of what Hillel did. Why was Hillel? We know that the halacha goes like Hillel, the law goes like Hillel. Why was Hillel zoche to the halacha? Because he did two things. He taught Shittas Beit Shammai, and not only did he teach Shittas Beit Shammai, but he taught it first. In other words, let's hear what Beit Shammai has to say, and then we'll discuss what we have to say, but that's l'shem shemayim. You really want to hear, you want to listen to what the other person is saying. And that he was zoche to have the halacha according to him. And similarly, we know that a dayan is not allowed to hear first a person, individual, when the other person's not there, because if it goes into his heart, it goes to his leg when you first hear it. So you're going to take that opinion to heart, and then the second guy comes along, he's going to have to keep fighting that off. If they're both there, so then you listen to both sides. But if you just listen to the one side first, that's forbidden. We don't allow our judges to do such a thing. And Hillel did exactly the opposite. Hillel taught first, and the answer is koshike. Now that's talking about, let's say there's somebody that you're not interested in hearing. But let's say you already have a preempt. Let's say you're having a discussion with somebody, with your wife, for example, and you have your opinion. You have your opinion. Now you have your opinion. You want to hear what the other opinion has. That's difficult, right? To hear the other person. But the tikkun is that it should be l'shem shemayim, that you really want to hear what the person has to say. Really, a lot of it's coming from fear. I don't want to hear this guy. This guy's going to change my life. This woman is going to change my life. She wants me to move to America. I know what she wants me to do. I don't want to listen to these things. I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear what you're saying. No, let's hear what you have to say. Don't be afraid. What do you say? What's your opinion? And talk it out, and you'll see in the end that's really going to lead to the shalom. Now listen to this. That if you have a maklokas l'shem shemayim, it's going to lead to ava v'achdus. This is unbelievable. You guys are fighting. You disagree with each other. Well, how's it going to lead to love? Where's the love going to come from? Well, you see that it's true that when a father and his son learns, even though they're fighting in the middle or they have problems between each other, in the end they come to love each other. And it's through the Torah, through the fighting, to getting to the emes. He wants to say that the emes leads to the love. And he listened to this raya. This is an unbelievable proof. We have a case here when Moshe, in this week's parsha, also in this week's parsha, there was a magifa. So what did Moshe say? Yeah, a plague, thank you. There was a plague. And what did Moshe say to Aaron? Go, Aaron, go get the ketores. Hurry up, go get the incense. We're going to start to burn the incense, and the incense is going to take away the plague. Where did Moshe Rabbeinu learn that secret from? That's a big secret. How do you know that burning incense takes away a plague? So it says when Moshe Rabbeinu went up to receive the Torah, the Malach Hasharis, all the Malachim up there, they're angry. They're jealous. They want to kill Moshe. What's this Ben Adam? What's this man doing in the heaven? What's he doing up here? Let's get rid of him. Take him out. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe, no, what are you going to answer them? How are you going to? They say you don't deserve the Torah. Why should the Torah is in the Shemaim? Why should you get the Torah? A man from the earth. So Moshe Rabbeinu answers him. Hashem says, answer him. What's the answer? He says, Moshe Rabbeinu says, it says in the Torah, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I'm Hashem your God. Asher Tzeitzchem Eretz Mitzrayim, that took you out of Mitzrayim. He says to you guys, hey, you guys, all you angels in the Shemaim, did you go, were you in Mitzrayim? Were you slaves in Mitzrayim? Did you go out of Mitzrayim? No, that's us. After they heard that, they said, you see, he's right. That's the emes. That's the emes. What happened at that point? Listen to this. It says, Miyad hodula HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They were moda. They heard what they said. Miyad kol echad v'echad nase lo ohava. Mose lo divrei, and they gave him the matanot. He says, when they heard the truth, that really the Torah was given from man, so at that point they were moda and they had ahava. They had love. So what switched between the Havaminim and the Skana? The only thing that switched was they saw the emes. Once they saw the emes, then they had love. When you have emes, it's interesting. It's built into the fiber reality. When everybody sees the truth, there's no machlokus. There's love there, and that's the machlokus l'shem shemayim. Now listen to this. This is unbelievable. You got to figure out what happened here. Wait a second. One of the matanot, the matana that was given. How did Moshe Rabbeinu know the secret? We didn't answer that question yet. We knew it because the Malach HaMaves was one of the malachim up there. And he told Moshe Rabbeinu the secret how to stop him. He gave away even against his own opinion, even against his own tafkid, which is to kill people. He told Moshe Rabbeinu that the secret is bring out the incense. So we see from here that when a person reaches the emes, he has love for the other person. So what do we learn from this? We learn from this that when you're fighting with, first of all, when the learning, if you don't learn the Shem Shemaim, you're going to push the Shekhinah away. It brings down here. If you're fighting with your friend because you don't like your friend, you don't like what he says, and you're mad at him about something that he did, or you're having, which happens all the time, personality conflicts, so that's not L'Shem Shemaim, and then the Shekhinah is going to go away. On the other hand, if you really want to listen in the shir, you listen to your friend, you let each guy talk. Okay, what is he saying? Let me hear what he has to say. He has a different opinion than me. I know, but let me listen to him. That's good. That brings the love. And also in the house. We don't listen to our wives. We have to listen to our wife. What is she saying? She's saying something. She's saying, what is she saying? She's saying something. Listen to her. Don't be scared. Listen to her. Listen to her, and if you listen to her, you'll say, something. Maybe she's right. She has a point. No, you don't. No, I don't want to hear. That's not L'Shem Shemaim. That's a similar, if you don't want to hear, Korach didn't want to hear Moshe. That's not L'Shem Shemaim. L'Shem Shemaim means you want to hear. That's called being a big person. Active listening to what the person says. Say it back to them. Disagree afterwards, but at least listen to their opinion. Don't be scared. The bigger the person is, the more he can listen. Why is that? Because he's not scared. It's not going to affect me. I have a moon, I have betacha. Nothing's going to happen to me if I listen to this guy's opinion, if I listen to my wife's opinion. Nothing's going to happen. It's not the end of the world. Listen. Why not listen?